I've been climbing for 16 years since I was in secondary school, and I'm currently a climbing coach. He's one of my students. A friend of mine showed me a video of him. Like, the first thing that stood out to me was, on top of his amazing climb sense, would be at such a young age, he was able to decipher what was safe and what was unsafe. He was able to like hold himself back from doing certain moves. I remember thinking to myself that like, there's something here, right?
At first, at home, I was like climbing furniture. There was only one time where a bookshelf fell on me and I broke my left or right collarbone, I don't remember. So my parents thought it was like too dangerous, so they brought me to a proper climbing gym. Usually if my mom's like scared of falling, I just say, just fall, there's a mat. Because I just believe that if there's a mat, then it's safe.
I got introduced to climbing through my CCA in secondary school. When I first started, climbing actually looked a lot different from the sport it is today. I would say like climbing was a lot simpler and just a lot less complex. It was much easier to climb up the ranks before. And since then, climbing has evolved so much, right?
So the first competition, I felt very nervous because it's my first time like competing against other climbers. But from that competition, started to feel that competing is very fun. So that's why I just decided to sign up for more competitions. I can't remember all of them, but I don't know, maybe like more than 10 competitions.
I think community is one big aspect of it, and the platform for people to interact, which is the climbing gym, is another. Back then, I felt like climbing was not as inclusive and was not as social. People don't really tend to help as much as they do now. People kind of cluster around the level, like the climbers of their same level. Now, there's a lot more incentive for you to socialize, to make friends. Through climbing, I've had the privilege of meeting many people from many walks of life, of many different ages and of many different professions. Actually, when I first started in secondary school, I wasn't particularly like great. I was never like the star player of the team. I just knew that I wanted to climb. Like, the reason I compete has evolved with time. When I was much younger, the reasons were a lot more superficial, and it was more a proving grounds for me to like show that the training has paid off, right? And I'm the best. But I think with time, the value of competition has become more of just exposure and journey of like self-discovery. Regardless of whether I'm competing or not, I'm always trying to aim for perfection. I think seeing that on the big stage, that's very fulfilling for me. I'm there to test myself in some way, but it's no longer for like glory or like anything of that matter. Yeah, I was selected for the SEA Games, but if in any case that I didn't make the cut, I don't think I would be very much bothered by it. Competitions have taken a backseat for me because I would like to pass on these values to the people that I coach.
So in bouldering, I want to maybe like climb a V17. Yeah, that's like a grade for bouldering.
It's the hardest grade in the world. It's the hardest grade in the world.
I watched it on YouTube, then that's why, yeah, that's where I got the inspiration from. Then it became my dream to do it. I also want to climb in the Olympics and maybe even win Olympics. One of my other dreams also is to beat my coach Gavin at climbing.
The climbing community has given a lot to me, has kept me out of trouble. I've spent so much time in this space that I feel like I have a lot of value to provide to anyone who wants to, not just the competitive climbers, but also the recreational climbers who just wants to spend productive time in the gym or like constantly improve on their craft.
I needed an activity whereby I can spend time with my family, where we can sit down and know how to solve issues and problems that we're going to face. I mean, it's time where you can sit down and really talk to one another and spend time. Climbing is one of the ways that you can do it. You can just go and climb, then at the same time also you can look at the bouldering problems.
The experience so far is pretty fun for me. I've always liked to solve puzzles also. Doing both puzzles and sports together is something that's quite different from what I usually do when I was younger.
My girl, she's interested in climbing. My hubby as well. So, but the thing is, she was too young, so she couldn't belay him. So I had no choice but to join. So that was how like I kind of supported our family.
I started at 11 years old with Climb Central's classes. Then I found out about bouldering through one of their classes. And after that, I found it like more fun than top rope because I feel pretty free.
He was telling me, Daddy, why you never tell me about bouldering? Then I was like, what is bouldering? How am I supposed to know what is bouldering? Bouldering is fun. There's no harness, there's no rope or whatever. It's free. That's how she just started to go into that area. Then this time around, I'm focusing on getting her back so that she can start to join competitions and start to compete.
I climb about 3 times a week, except for when I injured my leg, so I took a break. I got my injury through one of the competitions I joined. One of the mats was like misplaced, so there was like a hole disguised on the mat. I tore my ACL and my MCL. Hopefully just a few more months, then I can get my leg to fully strengthen again. Yeah. Having to put a stop to climbing, which I love a lot, just because of that is quite like devastating for me.
It was at a time when she was supposed to enter Polytechnic first year to join the climbing club of the school. So we thought that she should actually be clocking more mileage to climb with more friends of the same age and to be coached by the school's coach. But with this injury, right, she wasn't able to join the club. She wasn't able to start her first year learning new moves or having more climbing friends. So that is kind of like sad.
The plan was that for last year, she was supposed to train for a whole year and then just join all the competition to see where she stands. With the injuries that she has really sustained, right, it really puts a stop to whatever that we have planned for her for this year. End of the day, I think it's a good thing also because right now she will know how to deal with it in the future. Because in climbing, definitely 100% you will get injured. At least if she gets injured also, she will know in the future what to do also and how to deal with it also.
For the past 6 years, the people that I've been climbing with the most is my parents. I do have climbing friends, but mostly I climb with my parents. I got to share our experience. We get to work on problems together also. And I get some insights from my father and my mother at the same time, while I also help give advice for them too. Because of my injury, I couldn't go bouldering. However, sometimes I'll hang out with my father at the bouldering section. I'll give him some tips and it will work out. Trust, like 70% of the time.
When doing a climbing session, we don't climb for 1 hour straight or 2 hours straight, no. So when we climb after a certain route, we just sit down and we just talk to one another. Whatever that we want to talk about, it could be about our things that we've gone through for the day, what we feel at the current moment. The time that you spend at home sometimes is not as much as you spend during climbing because when you go back home, you're tired, I will just rest in my room. When you watch the TV, you don't tend to talk to one another. There is no communication with one another. However, when you go and climb, you don't have that electronic device to keep you away from one another. As we climb together also as a family, so right, we tend to push one another also. It has brought us closer to one another.